Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Missing Frames. This is the podcast where we watch all the movies we should have seen by this point in our lives. I'm your host, Shawn Eastridge, and joining me, two guests this time. This is just insanity. And they're both first-time guests. I'm so excited. I hope you out there are excited as well. First, we have Julia Barton. Julia, welcome.
Hi, I'm Julia, and this is my NPR voice.
And then we have Ryan Lambert as well.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and this is my regular voice.
And yeah, we have a whole variety of voices for you because that's what we do here on Missing Frames. We've spared no expense to bring you entertainment out the wazoo. But we are going to be watching Pulp Fiction, which Julia has never seen in all her life. Ooh. And I found this out. So we all actually met a couple months ago now at the Atlanta Film Festival. Yep. And we've been talking about doing an episode of Missing Frames. And this worked out because I know it's the 25th anniversary of Pulp Fiction.
It was last month.
So we're a little late, but that's okay.
Better
we're
late
picking
than
up the
never.
slack. I can't believe this movie's 25 years old.
Yeah, I didn't see it 25 years ago. I actually remember watching it for the first time on an iPod because I had to download it so that my parents didn't know I was watching it.
That's
I was a little
fantastic.
too young to be seeing it and watched it on
How
the screen.
old were you
It was
when
maybe
you
4
watched
inches
it?
across. Maybe 12 or 11.
Yeah, that's a little too young.
A little too young given the content, which you will find out very soon, Julia.
Okay.
But now I would say it's shaped you and made you the wonderful human being you are today.
I would go so far as to say yes, that is correct. That's why every sentence I have is laden with F words.
Yes,
I have hyper-violent personality.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed about you.
Yeah,
this guy Ryan, I got to get him on the podcast. He has a hyper-violent personality.
Well, yeah, because before the conversation, when we first introduced each other, I was beating someone up.
Yes.
In the alleyway,
which I thought was odd, but you. There was like a finesse to it. It was an art form, and I liked that.
Yeah,
I
like
impressive.
The essence of cool.
Choreographed almost.
Yes, I would say so. Well, the first time I saw Pulp Fiction, this is, I think, the second Tarantino movie I'd seen after Kill Bill 1 and 2. Kill Bill 1 and 2, those are the first ones I saw, and I loved those. Have you seen those?
No, I have not.
That's a future episode.
Oh,
But those are great, and I was convinced. I was firmly convinced. I was like, I love those movies so much that as great as I hear Pulp Fiction is, I don't imagine I would like it more just because Kill Bill was my first one and I'm always going to be partial to that. And then I saw Pulp Fiction. I was like, oh, wait a second. That is fantastic. That really might be, actually probably is the best movie of Tarantino's. I still think it is. But Julia, where do you sit on the Tarantino bandwagon? Are you a fan of his? Have you seen any of his movies?
I actually have not seen a lot of his movies.
Which ones have you seen?
We would have to kind of
Let's go chronologically.
Yeah. Okay, Reservoir Dogs.
No.
And we know you haven't seen this one. Does True Romance kind of count?
He wrote it, but Tony Scott directed it.
Yes.
But I still
no.
Still no. Okay, either way, no. And then what was after that?
Jackie Brown in 97.
Yes.
No.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, Jackie Brown's good. And then was Kill Bill after that?
Mm-hmm.
Kill Bill 1 and 2. Haven't seen
Nope.
those.
2.
And then there was
Death Proof. As
Death
part of
Proof. That's right.
the Grindhouse with Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, Death Proof I wasn't a huge fan of.
How are you guys not using flashcards right now?
Let's get this on record. We're just going through this without IMDb or anything. But and then was it Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah, in 2009.
I have seen that.
Okay. Did you like that one?
I did like it.
Okay, great.
Cool.
So far so good. And then Django.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love Django. He does this visual poetry thing that I absolutely love. Next time you're watching Django Unchained, keep an eye out for anything white being dyed with blood.
Oh yeah, when he shoots the guy running away in the field and the flowers get painted.
That's
with
not the only one
blood.
either. It's also the tablecloth. It happens about 4 times in different situations. It's
also,
a visual theme.
all the white men who end up getting shot and peppered in blood. Metaphor, I think it absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
Foreshadowing, if you will.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely
so.
foreshadowing.
Absolutely.
I love that. I'm a fan of Django Unchained.
Okay, great. So you're a Tarantino fan, clearly. And then Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Eight was the most recent one.
And now Once
until
Upon
this
a
year
Time in
in
Hollywood is
yeah.
coming out.
I do want to go
with
see
Leo
that.
Leo and Brad, Mr. Pitt.
Margot Robbie.
And Margot Robbie. That's right. It's going to be
And
so
Dakota
good.
Fanning is one of the Manson family.
Is she really?
Oh
This is going to be so
gosh.
good. But yeah, I think it is incredible. So Reservoir Dogs, I like Reservoir Dogs, but I don't love it. I don't know where you sit, Ryan, with Reservoir Dogs, but a lot of people really love that movie, and I've always been like, yeah, it's good, but I haven't really been in love with it.
I think I like it more in theory. Just the fact that your first film is so iconic in that way, and you make something that's basically all set in one location is just really smart writing wise and budget wise.
Yes.
So it's aspirational in that sense. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever consider it one of my favorites from him.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But what the crazy thing about it is I forget that Pulp Fiction is his second movie. The second movie he directed.
Barely 2 years later, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it won't. I'm telling you, it won't feel like a movie directed by someone who's only just getting started in their field. It feels like it's no wonder the movie blew up and became such a huge thing. It revitalized the careers of everyone in it. You've got John Travolta, Uma Thurman, Samuel L. Jackson. I think Uma Thurman, this kind of kicked her career
It was
off.
towards the start of hers, but
yeah, but John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, I think Samuel L. Jackson was the same thing. He was kind of coming up, but this really launched him. John Travolta had already had a career, and he was kind of
Saturday Night Fever and as the pretty dancing boy.
Exactly. And this movie totally, people were like, oh, he deserves Oscars now. Not just our affection for dancing and singing and wooing young Sandy, but he's a great actor too.
So it really brought him to his own as a performer, where he's not just a pretty face, he's actually someone with gravitas.
Right. And not only that, but the movie itself is creatively, cinematically, it's just insane. It's just there's so much going on in this movie. It's so creative. It's very exciting.
Okay.
I'm excited for you to watch it.
I am very excited.
Do you have, what are your, in terms of, I know you just said you're very excited, but is this something you've always wanted to see? Are you really genuinely looking forward to it? Do you think you would ever have seen it if we hadn't sat you down and forced you to?
To be completely honest, I don't think I would have ever seen it if I wasn't sitting down with you guys and watching it. But that's because it's an ex movie. You know, one of those movies that your ex really loved.
Oh, no.
And so once you've broken up, you see it and you think, I could watch it, but it's the association to the other person that just makes it a little bit unappealing.
Yeah, I try to steal those movies away. If I really love them, I'm like, no, you can't have it. So I'm hoping we can transform this into...
He even had a poster up in his room, huge Pulp Fiction poster.
What a monster. Who has a Pulp Fiction poster up
the quintessential college dorm room.
It's true. Yeah. Even before I knew what, even much about cinema, I knew what Pulp Fiction was just because of the poster.
Yeah, it's
before I even knew who Tarantino was, it was just oh yeah, it's that poster of that woman on the bed, and
that one in Fight Club is the other famous dorm room poster.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
I actually have not.
Yeah. This is ammo.
I
We're
know.
gonna keep coming back.
I'm definitely going to keep coming back. I'm perfect for this
podcast. Well, this is just part one. So by the time we get to part two, you may decide you never want to come back ever.
Wonderful.
But so far, so good.
That's welcoming. I'm even more excited now.
I'm thrilled. How about you? Are you excited?
I'm excited to be turning and looking at you, Julia, over the next 2.5 hours and really almost studying you on a scientific level as you react to everything happening on screen. You'll be under the microscope, trust me.
Yes, it's going to be great.
No pressure.
No pressure whatsoever.
None at all.
All right. Let's do this. We're going to go watch it, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Now available to own on video cassette.
All right, we're back, and Julia's wandering around the apartment because she needs to work her thoughts out. She's
shaking her hands from side to side.
She's shaking her hands. This is the first time this has ever happened in Missing Frames history. We're trying to see if this is going to. All right, Julia, you join us when you're ready. But Ryan, so you've seen this before.
Yes, and I think this might be my third time seeing it all the way through.
Ever. Wow.
But if you count all the memes and quotes and clips,
right,
I've probably seen it at least two additional times.
That's true, because it's funny, the John Travolta where he walks into the Wallace house and he looks around confused trying to find Mia's voice.
That smart expression on his face.
I've seen that meme all over the internet. and it's one of the most delightful things on the planet. And I realized watching this that I have not watched this movie
since saw the meme.
I've seen the meme.
Yeah,
which people have inserted John Travolta in
all
every
manner
possible
of situations.
situation.
Yeah, it tickles me each and every time.
All right, she's back. She's ready. So, Julia, what did you think? Adjust the mic and get ready. What did you think of Pulp Fiction?
All I can really, I'm still mind blown by the whole experience, but all I can say at this point is my ex had excellent taste. Because
he put the X in excellent.
He sure did, because he likes this movie and he's dated me.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I think what stood out about this movie the most is the mastery of pacing. Most of the time, at least in my opinion, movies don't take enough time to honor moments and let them play out. They just kind of cut to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of why it's a longer movie, but it makes it even better.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino masters the use of silence, which also adjusts tension and flow. It's just...
He's great. This is the second movie. This is the second movie he directed. I don't know. I'm a big Tarantino fan, but I don't know necessarily... I'm pretty sure Reservoir Dogs was the first thing he ever really shot. I don't think he'd done like short films. He basically was like he worked at a video store and was just a movie junkie. And he was writing scripts and trying to sell them and trying to make it in Hollywood. And then he got the opportunity to make Reservoir Dogs, and that's what blew him up. But I don't think, and anybody correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure if people at home listening to this know I'm wrong, they'll be screaming at their computers, or at least I hope you're screaming at your computer. I don't think he shot anything other than Reservoir Dogs.
There was a short film in 1987, I think, called My Best Friend's Birthday.
Gotcha.
That was incomplete because the tapes burned, actually. Like it was.
Really?
You can find about 10 to 20 minutes of it online, but it's not all there.
I didn't even know that. I have to look this up. But this is pretty insane. That's, I've seen Pulp Fiction a number of times, and it's been a long time since the last time I watched it, but that's what struck me. Like you said, the pacing is so on point because it's a 2.5 hour movie, and it doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. It feels like 90 minutes.
Which is the best kind of movie, the one that no matter how long it goes on, you never feel the length of it.
Or you want it to keep going almost.
You're
almost like,
oh,
damn, it's over.
Yeah.
There was a distinct moment when I was sitting on the couch and watching it, and I just thought I could watch another 3 hours of this.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of his movies are like that, and there are some that I think teeter over the edge into like self-indulgence.
Some that are not like that,
yes.
where you're like, I could have cut 10 or 15 off of this.
Right.
Yeah.
But Pulp Fiction is one of the examples of Tarantino's work where it's like on every cylinder, it's just perfect, and it's almost. I personally feel like this is his best movie. I think you can have personal preference, and there are movies where he almost bests himself, but like to me this feels like the purest expression based on the rest of his filmography of what he's going for with his career.
Every scene just exudes cool. There's no real other way to describe it. Everything is just so cool.
Yeah,
like
the dialogue,
the words tumble out of people's mouths.
Yes.
They just have this nice flow to it.
Yes.
And even everyone's mannerisms, the way that they walk around, the way that they like move their hands when they talk, the way they smoke cigarettes, everything is just like
the soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh, the soundtrack is so cool.
It's just like you want to like walk down hallways with sunglasses whenever the soundtrack
or drive.
Pops up. Yeah, or drive. Yeah, drive
pop
anywhere.
Pop that in the
get some
6-disc
heroin
changer.
in your system and just go for a drive. But yeah, I think that's one of the movie is almost effortless. That's what's so weird. Like that's what I was saying before, where it's like you will not believe this is this guy's second feature because it feels so like this guy's been doing this for years.
It feels like a late career entry, but
it feels like a culmination. Like again, it feels like a culmination, and I wonder if that's frustrating. So Tarantino, I don't know if you know a lot about Tarantino. He's like one of the I know he's listening. He's like one of the like smarmy. He's kind of a smarmy guy. Like he's very like into himself. He knows he's hot, and he knows
he talks exactly the way his character Jimmy talks.
He's very like, if you watch interviews with him, he's I put it together that way because I know it's brilliant, and he just like is a very like nerdy, like very energetic, a delight to watch, but totally into himself. Like he is so into himself, which you would hate, and some people do hate, but I can't, because he's so good at what he does that you have to be like, it's kind of like it, not quite the extreme of Kanye West, but almost a comparison. Like it's like, it's very similar where Kanye is like, I'm an artistic genius. That's kind of like what Tarantino is, except he's dweebier than Kanye.
The thing about Quentin Tarantino and that movie, I'm sorry, I'm still completely mind blown. I'm talking and I might need to walk around again.
Take another laugh.
Laugh. But he backs it up.
Yeah. It's like he talks the talk and he walks the walk, so you can't
Oh my God.
It's like, yeah, he may be arrogant, but like,
yeah,
he brings his A game, so
Pulp
what can you
Fiction
do?
He talks smack and he walks it back.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's good.
You should be writing these movies.
That.
Stay tuned.
That's the dream. But I love, one of the things I think that maybe it didn't caught me off guard because I'd seen Kill Bill and I kind of understood the style he was going for, but I think it would be interesting to hear your opinion, Julia. But like, did it catch you off guard how funny it is? It's almost sitcom-y in a way. Like, it's like, these two hitmen just hanging out in the car and just talking about Royales with cheese. Like, it's so much of it just feels almost like it's almost a comedy more than like a
serious drama or a thriller or anything of that sort.
It's like a very stylized comedy. But was that like a surprise to you that it was so funny almost?
Yeah, I would say that it was. I was under the impression it was a dark comedy. What genre is it classified as?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I
guess
just
you
always
could
put
put
it as
like
it's a Tarantino movie.
Yeah,
it's hard to really put that in a box.
They're really their own thing.
Yeah.
I guess you could call it like a crime thriller comedy. I think Pulp Fiction is probably the best way to describe Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, but like even the crime and the thrilling aspects of it are so on the fringe. Like they're all criminals, but there's not really like crime-driven plots. In a way. We're
not watching the action in the movie is pretty minimal for the most part. Like the most action we get is with Bruce Willis, Butch, and Marcellus
in the Gold Watch.
Yeah, in the Gold Watch. That's the most action I think we get in the entire movie.
Yeah.
It's not really gun shoots and like car chases and explosions, though. Like these things kind of show up, but it's the scenes between those scenes,
the long drawn out scenes of people talking to each other.
Exactly. It's like the things that you like any other movie would have been like, oh, that's skipped on the cutting room floor. Yeah. But this movie kind of relishes those moments. And aside from the humor, what was the biggest surprise for you? Like as it started off, what kind of pulled you in and kind of caught you by surprise pleasantly, or what was the moment that really kind of brought you into it?
I would have to say that it's a series of vignettes. I was under the impression, I didn't know much about the movie going in, but I thought it was just a very linear plot line. I was very pleasantly surprised.
This is great. Yeah.
I love vignettes. They're one of my favorite forms of storytelling, and one of my favorite modes of telling a story as well is a bunch of people who have very loosely connected lives. And so that was absolutely my cup of tea. Yeah. Although it would be more appropriate to say cup of coffee. Gourmet.
Gourmet, please. Yes.
I think LA is such a great setting for a movie like that, for anything that deals with vignettes and like a eclectic cast of characters spread out, because it's such a sprawl and there's so much going on there on any given day. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever seen Shortcuts or the movie Bug. But those are two.
Wait, who did Bug?
It's not the William Friedkin Bug with Michael Shannon, the guy who did The Exorcist. It's like I couldn't even find it online when I found it at a video store, but it's like 30 characters all like interacting based off of bugs and cockroaches and stuff. It's funny. It's good. But the point being that in a city like that. New York too, just perfect for vignettes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I'm trying to think of. I know there are movies that are like this that came out before Pulp Fiction, but I remember just like the reaction to the movie, like people losing their minds over this because of the fact that it was so all over the place. My brother, who I love so much, but he does not like this movie, and he. I remember he asked me, he was like, well, it doesn't even have a plot. What's the plot? And I'm like, it does have a plot. It has like 5 plots. I know that's a little confusing, but like it is kind of structurally, I guess it felt fresh. I think at the time, I mean, this is 94. There wasn't a whole lot out there at that point that was like this. It was starting the independent film, like
The boom
rush
of the 90s
that was
kind of,
happening.
Like, crystallized it.
Yeah, and there was like I mean there was Clerks, and Linklater by this point was starting to do
Slacker,
stuff.
93,
Slacker,
I think.
yeah, and I guess Dazed and Confused had
That
just
was-
come
yeah,
out.
yeah.
But there's a difference between those because those are like slice of life movies, and this is a slice of life movie, but like. And this is with all due respect to Kevin Smith and Richard Linklater, because especially Linklater I'm a huge fan of, but Tarantino almost brought the like cinematic quality to it, and he fueled it with like the drama and the tension that was missing from those movies. Because Linklater is more like, oh, just kids hanging out.
They're
talking.
even more like rambling,
Exactly.
digressive than something like this.
And I love that, but it's same with Clerks, but like this was very like really cool people that you want to spend more time with, almost like you want to get into that world a little bit. But it's amazing that this came out the same year as it was this, Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption. I think there was one other big movie that people talk about, but they all came out in 1994 and they were all nominated for Best Picture, including Pulp Fiction, and Forrest Gump won for Best Picture. How does that make you feel?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You see the look of concern on her face.
Yeah, this is like a big people have been questioning their lives ever since this happened.
I mean, with what happened this year with the Green Book,
Oh, yeah.
there's a pattern.
I was going to say
Yes.
the Oscars miss the mark more often than they hit
Yeah.
the mark.
It's true.
It's
Yeah.
not surprising. I would just say disappointed, but not surprised.
It's a tough year though. Like, I mean, to be fair, it's hard for me to pick between. I mean, Forrest Gump is okay, but like Shawshank is pretty high up on the list. But I almost give the edge to Pulp Fiction just because it's so like,
It's fresh.
yeah, it's manic in its freshness. It's like there's so much going on. There's so much energy to this movie.
But also in a very weird antithetical way that I personally adore. The craziness was also put into such a grounded portrayal of
Yeah.
it.
It's not so stylized that it feels unreal. Like there are
Yeah.
like little
The
there-
briefcase is
Yes,
one
I was going
in
to say that's the
particular.
most
Yeah.
fantastical thing in
Yeah.
the movie is the briefcase, but for the most part
It stays within the realms of possibility.
yeah, some things are exaggerated, some things are a little surrealist, like the don't be a square moment
Yeah.
and things like that, like they're little flourishes. But it is, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, like, of course, it sounds crazy and absurd that two hitmen would be talking about cheeseburgers in France on their way to perform a hit, but that actually, when you think about
Yeah.
it, it's realistic. It's just a conversation that two colleagues are having.
Yeah, it's just a job.
It's just a job.
Like a water cooler conversation.
Yeah, water
Yes.
cooler conversation, except they're on their way for a hit.
They're on their way to kill somebody. But did you have a it's hard to pick. Every time I watch this, I try to like. I'm always like, oh, that's my favorite vignette. This is my favorite story, and it's always, it's the one I'm watching at the time. It's very difficult for me to pick a favorite. But did you have a favorite story that stood out to you? I guess that's the first question. I have almost a couple others related to
Okay.
this.
I'm going to come right out on the bat and say my favorite vignette for this first time watching around. I'm definitely going to watch it again so I can process a little bit more because there was a lot going on. But my favorite was Samuel L. Jackson in the apartment with the gun and the
Yeah.
burger. And the reason why is because it's such a masterful example of someone using what's referred to in acting as status.
Explain this to us,
Okay.
us non-thespians.
So status is comprised of two things. One is how a person carries themselves, and two is how other people react to them. Status is usually put on a scale of 1 to 10. Someone with low status is 1, someone with high status is a 10, and it's an incredible example of how to execute a character who carries themselves with a very high status. Samuel L. Jackson was coming out of the theater and his training in the theater, and it was absolutely rife with that kind of spot-on performance. One thing you'll notice about a character with high status is that they don't move a lot. So you can see in his gestures when he just kind of signals someone to sit back down. He doesn't point at him and go, sit back down. He just lowers his hand. And the thought process and the methodology behind that is that's all someone with high status has to do. They don't have to exert a lot of energy to get other people to do what they want. Another visual example for it would be a CEO walking through an office. You'll have assistants buzzing around them because they're low status, but the high status person and the CEO is just walking right through with their coffee on their way. And it's a master class in how to play status.
Yeah.
I'm still thoroughly impressed.
His vocal control is very impressive
Yes,
as well.
And that's another part of status as well. You don't have to raise your voice. And the only time he raises his voice, it isn't even because he has to.
Yeah.
It's because he wants to.
He's almost playing with it.
He
like
is.
you.
He's playing with his power, and he's playing with his
prey.
station.
Yeah.
He is praying.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's just so good. I can't wait to see it again.
Let's talk about Bruce Willis, who this movie is so full of people that I sometimes forget that Bruce Willis is in this movie, which is funny because I love him so much in this movie. But he is the second big vignette. Like there's I guess there's Jules and why can't I think what is
Vincent.
Jules and Vincent.
And theirs is sort of broken up. Like the Gold
Yeah.
Watch is almost the centerpiece of the movie.
It
It's
is
the one that goes on the longest and is the most straightforward in a sense.
Right, because you have the opening with the honey bunny and what's his name, and then you have the scene with them, and then it goes into the date with Mia, which is that's the first extended story, and then you have Bruce Willis as Butch, his story, and it was the same for Bruce. This movie is full of people who were like all stars, but all kind of like fading. Like I think Bruce Willis had just come off a couple not great movies. Was North right before?
I haven't
Pulp
seen.
Oh my God, let me look this up real quick. There's this movie called North that if I can mention it, bless you. If I can mention it every. That was released the same year as Pulp Fiction. There's a terrible, terrible movie called North that Bruce Willis was also in. But basically, he'd been coming off a few not great big budget movies, and his career is kind of like floundering a bit. So he did this, and again, the movie revitalized his career as it did everyone else's. But how was it weird to see him pop up in the movie? Because I don't think I forgot to mention. We both forgot to mention that he was in this when we did the first part of this episode.
So the first second I saw him, it was definitely a shock. But then the very next second, I was just sucked in. One of the marks of a really good actor is you can just watch them listen to someone and they just suck you in.
Yeah.
And that was most of what that scene was.
Because it's just it's just him.
Marcellus is doing all the talking,
and he has
is
to
not
just
on
sit there.
screen at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis just sits there and listens.
Yeah.
And it's a visual version of Tarantino's mastery of silence in a way, because we're not seeing the person who's speaking speak. We're just watching someone listen, and that's in a way more engaging.
Yeah, the stillness of it, which is almost
Yes.
visual silence
Yeah.
in a sense. What I like about revisiting something you've seen multiple times is that you pick up more detail each and every time you watch it. And something that stood out to me this time is that both Mia and Marcellus Wallace, their reputations precede them in a big way in the film, because they're both discussed heavily in the first scene with Jules and Vincent long before either of them appear on screen. And even when they do appear on screen, like when Marcellus' first scene is with Butch, you only see the back of his head or him from a distance in the shadows. When you first see Mia, you hear her voice reading off the note on the front door, and you see her lips talking into the intercom, but you hear about them and see parts of them before you see them fully. And I thought that was true. Interesting.
They do a great job of, again, exposition and dialogue is one of the hardest things to do, because it's basically the equivalent of like, have I ever told you that I used to da-da-da? And the way he pulls it off in this movie to have those, like, you set up the threat of Mia and what's at stake just with like this really fun, entertaining story of like this guy who gave her a foot massage.
Allegedly.
It's like, allegedly gave her a foot massage and got tossed out a window. But it's like, what a brilliant way to set up both how dangerous Marcellus is. And you know these guys work for him, but like you immediately get the sense that he's dangerous. And then you set up like, oh, he has a wife and don't mess with her. And then also you're setting up the story of Vincent having to take her out. And it's like, after all that stuff, it's like, oh, by the way, I got to take her out on a date because he asked me to.
Which is I think my favorite sequence is
I think
their
it's
date,
mine too.
because there's just two like slamming back-to-back scenes. Like their conversation in the restaurant is so excellent. Like when I say cool, like that's what immediately comes to mind. Is like them talking about milkshakes.
And then they do their dance.
Eating, and then the scene, and I didn't appreciate it as much the first time I saw it, I think because I was a kid and it was about heroin, but the scene in Eric Stoltz's house, I don't remember the character's name, but the drug dealer, like when they're all running around screaming at each other about the adrenaline and the medical book, like that, it's farcical. Like it's such pure like physical comedy. Everyone just scouring around.
Well, everyone's screaming at each other.
Stooges bit.
Yes,
it is.
I love that. It's just completely insane. And when like she comes in and he drives the car into the lawn. Just that shot.
So unnecessary. You could have stopped in the grass.
Such a good shot.
Yes.
Framed by the door and the car just shooting across it.
You just see it fly by, and everyone's freaking out. Everyone's screaming at each other, and it's just like pure chaos. But it's so the movie, like it never ceases to amaze me how like genuinely funny it is, even in the most horrific moments. And I love the way because that scene moves so it's so like everyone is like high energy and crazy and like, what's going on? Oh my god, what's that? We have to do this. And then when they get to the countdown, when he's like, you gotta stab her, it just stops.
It's also silent.
Exactly. Yeah. So they just slow it down for the count, and you feel every second of the count before he has to get her with the adrenaline shot. But I loved that, and like you said, the energies are completely different. But I think I'm with you. I'm always anything that's like walk and talk, like the Before trilogy, things like that. That whole sequence is basically a walk and talk where these two characters who can't be together but clearly kind of have a little thing for each other. And I love him in the bathroom talking
the bored wife and the lonely hitman.
Exactly. I love
my favorite trope.
Yes. But it's like the movie's full of these. I think that was Tarantino said that's what he was going for, to take these really like these things that are so go hand in hand with these genres, like the stories, like the hitman with the leader's wife, and all these ideas, like the boxer with the heart of gold, and like things like that, and just kind of twisting them just a little bit. So it's like at the end, what happens when the wife overdoses and the guy has to save her, or what happens when the leader, the mob leader, and Butch get caught in the weirdest freaking like
psychosexual
BDSM
situation.
How was that? Yeah. How did you? I don't want to say the word enjoy because it's not the right word, but how did you? How did you feel during that entire? Because I remember the first time I watched it, I was just like, "What nightmare have I descended into? What alternative reality
took 100 left turns?"
Yeah, like where did we end up? Like one second he's like hitting Marcellus with his car, they're chasing each other, and now what is happening?
So I want to start off by saying another great thing that Tarantino did visually pacing wise is we never see Marcellus's full bare face until he's on that crosswalk.
That's true. I forgot about that because
Yeah.
I know it's Ving Rhames and I've seen the movie before, but I forget that you don't see him until that moment.
And so not only do you have the impact of one second, let me gather myself. So you see the back of his head, you see him half cast in light in the bar, and then you see him with sunglasses on for the rest of the movie. And so what it does brilliantly is it puts you in the same seat, literally the same seat, because Bruce Willis is in a car seat, that Bruce Willis's character Butch is in, because the penny doesn't fall instantly. And so you have that moment of recognition at the same time as the character, which is absolutely incredible. And so you have not only the impact of realizing who it is, but you also have the impact of seeing him for the first time. You get double tapped visually, and then the chase is on. I would say I loved I don't know why I zeroed in on it, but I love the completely brutal scene with just this little pink box of pastries.
I know. I thought that was a wonderful visual touch.
Yeah.
Just this like huge black guy, the most imposing force in the movie, just carrying along this little pink package
Of pastries.
It's so funny.
Oh yeah. And it's still in the shot when he's staggering across the street as well.
Yeah.
Which was just so wonderful to see. I would say, in Looney Tunes when Bugs Bunny just kind of pops up, looks around, and says, "Oh, I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque." Multiply that sentiment times about 1,000, and that's how I felt about
scene.
that whole vignette.
I think that's how they felt too. I just love it. That scene is so horrifying, but it's so funny. The whole thing is so funny to me. Just the two of them sitting there, and they're just like with these
ball gags.
The ball gags, and just like covered in sweat and blood, and they're both just like, you could just see it in their faces, like exactly like you said, like how
today of all days.
Yeah, it's like what is happening, and so many of these ideas, like that scene elevates it to like almost comic book, because then it's like we're in this almost fantasy land where it's like what is happening. And as he's leaving, one of the best bits of the movie is him. First he goes back, but then him with the weapon selection, trying to pick which weapon to use. That felt to me, having seen Kill Bill and coming back to this, I was like, of course he would go for the katana. Like, it's like the weapon of choice. But it feels to me like that's one of the most overtly, outside of the dialogue, that's one of the most overt moments where Tarantino's like, this is who I am as a filmmaker. Like this scene where like pick the weapon of choice.
Yeah, you really see his video store background in scenes like that, where like he wears all his influences on his sleeve in a sense, like loving B movies, loving like kung fu. Even the sequence where they dance in Jackrabbit Slims is like an homage to a movie from France in the 60s called Band of Outsiders, where like the three characters have a little dance scene where they're doing some of the same moves. Yeah.
Wow.
If you Google just like where the influences are and where the homages are, they're loaded all throughout the movie.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a
DJ. He's like a
a
video like DJ remix artist.
Yes.
Like it's just
he's like the girl
like
talk of cinema. He really is. But it's this movie almost makes you. I don't feel that bad when I laugh at the stuff that's horrible, because the movie clearly wants you to see it as absurd. But like that scene in particular, I'm always like, oh my God, what is happening?
Even when they kill off like our lead quote unquote character in the middle of the movie when he walks out of the bathroom.
Oh my God, yeah.
That scene, first of all, masterclass in tension and silence, as we've been discussing.
Absolutely.
But then when the Pop-Tarts exit the toaster, it's comic. It's the lowest moment perhaps, but it's just so funny. This time I was more like, oh, this sucks. But I remember the first time I watched it, not how brilliant it was, that I was so on Butch's side that I didn't think
for a second, really, I was kind of like, oh no, he killed him. This time I was more like, oh, but I love John Travolta. No, he's been through so much. But I remember the first time I watched it, how brilliant it was that you have these intersecting characters, but like you spent so much time with Vincent up to that point, but you're so on Butch's side that when he kills him, you're almost like, oh, thank God he made it. And then afterwards you feel guilty because you're like, wait a second, no, he just killed the other character I really loved. But it's such a sign of great writing when you can like
want both sides
to
prosper.
I love that so much. And then I don't know what else really stood out to you in terms of things that maybe caught you off guard or you weren't expecting. Was there one moment in particular that you were like, oh my God, this is like genius?
I wasn't expecting to like Marcellus.
Yeah.
After the way he's built up at the beginning.
Yeah, especially the way he's built up in the beginning. We don't see a lot of him. He's mostly this very overbearing, threatening entity in the movie. But I just kind of it was probably the scene in the basement.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
Really
weirdly enough.
Just like with Butch. Again, that's the second time where you're in Butch's shoes and your sympathies have switched. First time is when you see him on the street, and then the second time is when you realize you're like, you can't leave him down there. You can't. But let me ask you this. What do you think is in the briefcase? This is like one of the big conversations amongst film buffs and fans is what is in Marcellus's briefcase.
Okay. Do you want a smart aleck answer?
Sure.
Or do you
all the answers? God.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, so here's the theory. What do you?
Oh wait,
I don't know
really?
if you've heard this one. Do you have a theory about it?
His soul.
Yeah.
Inside the briefcase. Yeah.
So
because the 666 putting in the code, which is like the sign of the devil or whatever, and he's
delivering a soul to the devil.
Or he is the devil.
Or he is the devil.
Yeah. So the other
souls.
thing is, so he has the Band-Aid on the back of his neck.
Does.
There's some, I don't know which folklore it is or which culture this belongs to, but there's a culture where your soul is extracted out of the back of your neck. So the idea is his soul is in the briefcase and it was removed out of the back of his neck. Now Tarantino is like, oh no, he cut himself shaving. And I'm like, he cut himself. Do you shave the back of your neck? It's like
regularly? The David Lynch explanation where you will never like confirm or deny any sort of theories or. But
that's I like that one. I almost don't. I'm one of those people who, it's funny you bring up David Lynch. One of the things about David Lynch is I love analyzing the movies, but only to a point. Like I'm almost like just show it all to me. I don't need to understand what it means.
It's
I just
experiential.
Need to feel. I need to feel it. I just need to feel it. So the briefcase to me is almost like it's almost, you don't, it's a MacGuffin that you don't really need to know what it is.
Over-explaining can sometimes dilute the experience of.
Like if someone came out and said it is explicitly this, I would, even if Tarantino was like, oh yeah, it's this, I would still be like, nah, I don't think so. It's nothing. It's everything and nothing.
My issue with the explanation that it's his soul is, would Marcellus's soul really be the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
Yeah. Also, would someone else recognize it? Because at the end, when the hitman or the robber is like, "Is that what I think it is?"
Yeah.
Well, it could just look like a soul.
It could just be like a guy.
Just be like a super
what you expect a soul to look like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the most. That's
6-inch tall version of Marcellus inside of the suitcase.
Hey guys.
With the donuts.
Yeah. Walking across the street. That's his most perfect self. His most his purest and most wonderful self is him walking across that street.
That's the Marcellus on his vision
board.
That's
the Marcellus we all know and love. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. But I wanted to see what you
I knew
thought.
That question was coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because everybody wants to know.
I'm
what's
sure,
in the
because I wanted to ask the question too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I was kind of transported back to, well, I wasn't born when it came out, but I was kind of transported to people seeing it for the first time and walking outside of the movie theater kind of excitedly talking, and then suddenly someone cuts to the chase and says, all right guys, what do we think is in the suitcase?
That's what recording this podcast feels like. It's like a rewarding, like exterior theater conversation.
We've absorbed we ourselves are the souls within briefcases of those people who were walking out of a theater in 1994.
I didn't want to mention it, but I saw Band-Aids on the back of both of your necks. So.
I thought my hair was covered.
We gotta go.
This I wore a high collar.
Well, Ryan, here's a question for you. So cause I mentioned if I'm ranking Tarantino's movies, probably my personal favorites are Kill Bill because it's the first I've seen, but I think this is his best movie. Would you agree with that, or how would you rank this in his filmography?
It's top 3, definitely. I really like Jackie Brown.
Which is funny because Jackie Brown's one that it's more divisive, it feels like. Either you love it or you hate it almost.
I like it because it's him adapting the writing of Elmore Leonard, who's also has a great ear for dialogue as well, but it's the only movie he's made that is not like written in a sense by him. So it's if Pulp Fiction is him at his most glorious self, Jackie Brown is him at his least himself.
Yeah.
And so I think...
And Jackie Brown, just to let you know, Julia, was the film he followed up Pulp Fiction with. So people were kind of thrown for a loop because they were kind of like, it's not as... It's a little more it's more grounded and it's a little more... what's the word? It's... Not necessarily not energetic. It's more somber. It's more mature almost.
Yeah.
It's a more mature film. Like it doesn't feel as crazy or manic. It feels a little more like, all right. Now I'm going to do this and we're just going to make a movie here. I don't have to show off or anything.
Yeah.
It has flourishes, but it feels more mature.
Yeah, which I like in a sense in contrast to Pulp Fiction. So I'd put those two at somewhere in the top 3, and then I think Kill Bill as a full piece, like 1 and 2, is just such a masterful 4.5 hours.
Where is
a saga of revenge?
Tarantino's been talking about the whole Bloody Affair.
Bloody Affair, yeah.
He's been talking about that since his plan is to cut volume 1 and 2 of Kill Bill together into one giant movie and release it, and he's been talking about that since 2004.
I would go see it. I want it to come out.
I would go see it. I don't know what
revival
the deal
theater
is.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
I would sit through it. That'd be the longest movie I've ever seen in theaters. But
is there anything about the movie that didn't work for you or that you were disappointed by?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question.
Or maybe expectations that weren't met, maybe not necessarily in a bad way, but things that you were like, oh, I kind of wanted this to happen and I didn't get that.
I wanted to see Mia a little bit more.
Yeah,
I
get that.
Let me gather myself again. All we really got to see, we got to hear her backstory. We got to hear that she was an actress and that she did a pilot, but we never get to experience any of her story really, except for the date that she goes on with Vincent. And we see this really cool, charismatic woman who just loves to have a good time. And again, she's like the epitome of cool. She is. And we don't get to see her that often. And what we do get to experience of her is mostly through the hearsay of other people.
Yeah, it's very much a male-driven movie.
Is,
it's not as much. That's like the most female perspective we get. I mean, you get Butch's girlfriend too, but like that especially, Mia is such a
strong,
intense personality.
So fierce.
Yes.
I honestly would love to see more Mia.
Yeah, I agree. I love this movie so much that I don't think about. It's hard for me to think about negatives, but that's a really good point. She's so good that you're almost like, I wish we got one more little. I love the little touch. Like I love that Vincent is there when Butch escapes and Mia is there, and they have that little moment where she's like, "Oh, I never got to thank you for dinner." And it's like, yeah,
which helps with the chronology of it. Like if you were confused
does.
up until that point, you're like, "Oh, so this takes place after."
It
that.
helps with that, but I also love the casual kind of. She's like, "Oh yeah, thank you." Like now they're back on professional terms. Like that very personal connection they had. This very
been
intimate.
to the edge of hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He saved her life,
back.
but now it's just like, oh, back to business as usual.
Yeah.
I love that so much. But Ryan, what about you? Is there anything about the movie that doesn't hold up on this viewing versus last viewing?
I think, and this might be because it's the most. I think it's the longest sequence in the middle and the most put together, whereas everything else is sort of bookended. Like you get half of the pumpkin and honey bunny at the beginning, half at the end, half of Vincent and Jules going to the apartment, half at the end. But the gold watch sequence being all together, I think, drags a little bit at the beginning. Like when he is in the taxi cab and before he realizes the watch is gone. Like after that, it moves and is great. But up until that point, I think I would probably trim some of that if I were to
that's exactly
recut
what
Pulp Fiction, which is probably blasphemy.
That's exactly how I felt watching it this time. It was like, oh yeah, this part, it's the moment, like the story with Christopher Walken is so funny, but it's when you're trying to figure out like, okay, Butch is escaping, but now he's just kind of hanging out with his girlfriend and they're just kind of talking and making out and like showering and until he is like, where's my watch? It's like, this is cool. These are cool people, but like, what's going on? Like, did you feel that at all? Like, because it's your first viewing, so was it kind of like, where is this going, or were you just so like enthralled and so like watching it for the first time and learning about all this stuff? I don't know if that's something that becomes more apparent on another viewing.
I would say I actually liked having it drag on in the bedroom because all we really saw of Butch's character at that point was he's a boxer, he took money, I'm assuming he was supposed to throw a match and he didn't. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And the fifth, his ass goes down.
Awesome.
Say it.
Yeah.
All right, I can do context. Thank God. But that's all we know about him. We don't know about his personal life. So we have this blood, we have this panic, we have him not doing what he's going to do. We know some kind of violence is coming his way. So it's nice and pleasant to have him go home to his girlfriend and just have them talk about stupid stuff in the bed. It makes him more of a human character, and it also adds a touch of sweetness to his life. I really liked Fabiana's character. She was very sweet, but also had her own opinions about things. And the thing that really framed it as normalcy in this sea of crazy manicness, which is what I saw it as. I saw it as just a nice, normal oasis in all of this chaos. Yeah. And the toothbrushing is actually what really sold it for me. Just having someone, it's in a way, if you look at it in a certain way, it's how we frame our day. Mm-hmm. It's something we do every morning and every night. And so it's just, it's docile. And I liked that it dragged on a little bit.
That's a good point.
The sound of people brushing their teeth is like nails on the chalkboard for
oh
me.
No!
So you're like, okay, Bruce Willis is asleep. Like, she's done brushing her teeth. Oh wait, that's the connecting tissue to the next scene. Now she's still brushing her teeth. No. I'm cringing out of existence.
Oh no!
Maybe that's my real problem with it.
The undercurrent that I think is the core of what is really bothering you about that scene. That's a fair point. I heard you get really excited when you realized that the ending took place in the beginning and the end of the same scene. So walk me through your feelings about the last scene and how it kind of tied everything together with Jules's whole speech, and then you have these two robbers that he kind of guides along their way.
So I actually thought that the movie was going to end once Bruce Willis sped off on the chopper with Fabiana. I thought those were our closing shots. And so when it moved into the diner, because I was kind of let down by it, I just kind of thought, where's the rest of the story? It's great shot. It's technically the closing of this huge chunk of story that we've been seeing, and it's a great way to close it. But I was also left feeling disappointed. So once they put me back into the diner where it all began,
diner. Well, they go into the
cleaning
scene.
With Mr. Wolf.
And then the diner at the end.
But once it was in the diner, I had this really satisfying moment of all of these vignettes have come full circle. Yeah. And these two sets of characters who I never thought were going to clash. I thought they were going to be one of the characters that just never see each other. End up being thrust into each other's lives in this really great standoff. you have Samuel L. Jackson and his high status, and you have Tim Roth's character.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, thank God I got his name right. And then you have Tim Roth, who doesn't have as high a status, but who claws his way into trying to get it. And so you have that standoff. It's kind of like watching a nature documentary and having the alpha lion and the juvenile lion clash in a battle for will. And then, of course, Samuel L. Jackson comes out on top.
Because he always does.
And
Samuel L. Jackson.
And his character status is an ineffable 10. But yeah, I loved it. There was something so satisfying of that, with that aha moment that everything is coming full circle.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you saw your reaction to that?
Yeah, I was impressed in a similar sense. Like the movie eats itself in a way. Like it's like the snake going around
Yeah.
eating its own
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros. Yeah. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that. One of us did because we said it different ways. So. But yeah, just that one, the shot from the side where Jules and Ringo, I guess his name is, are both sitting at the table talking, and they're in the foreground because they're the like subject matter of this conversation, and then Vincent and Yolanda are in the background, but they're placed higher in the frame. You can see all four of them, and like what's important is closer to you, but kind of the erratic element, because like these two in front are calm, but the two in the back are the ones that like they're holding guns on each other, and they could change the whole outcome of the scene. So I just love the staging of that.
There's a term for that in staging, especially in theater. It's called use of levels. And weirdly enough, levels are also another way to portray power dynamics. And what I found very interesting was Vincent was visually at a lower point of power than Yolanda, even though Yolanda was the character with the least power in the scene. I found it very intriguing. But she, in a way, she also had a little bit of a higher status because we never knew what she was going to do.
Yeah,
I think
that's the most power
idea.
in a
She
sense.
is the one they're
chaos.
trying to, like, she's the variable that they're like, we need to keep her calm. Everything that happens here is basically based on what she decides.
Which in a sense gives her the most power in a way.
Yeah.
And if they're all adjusting their actions to try and placate the erratic, chaotic element.
Yeah.
And it also splits the teams down the middle in the shot as well.
Yes.
There's so much about this movie that I love. It's too much. It's like every time I watched it, I'm like, this movie's so damn perfect. I hate it. I hate it. We haven't even talked Harvey Keitel, who is so good, basically in a cameo, an extended cameo as oh damn! Why can't I think of his name? What's the guy's name?
Winston Wolfe.
Yes, the
Mr.
Wolf. He comes in and basically takes over the movie immediately.
Yeah.
Tarantino gets his little cameo in there because he needs it. But I love how it's always fun for me to have everyone in complete chaos, and then you have this one character come in and say, "All right, we're doing this. We're doing this. You guys need to do this. You guys need to do that." And Keitel plays it so perfectly. I wanted to make sure that I was on the record talking about how much I love him in this movie.
There's so many scenes in bathrooms.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Mr. Tarantino, could you please come on this show and explain this fixation with bathrooms to us?
There is a cool, like, there's levels to it, especially with John Travolta in the bathroom. If you don't take the movie as it plays, but take it and like lay it out chronologically, each time he goes into a bathroom, he comes out to a chaotic situation that gets worse every time. Like the first time is when he goes into the diner bathroom, comes out, he's in the middle of a robbery. He has to Jules talks their way out of it. The second time he goes in on his date with Mia Wallace, comes out and she is near death, overdosing on heroin. And then the third time he is gunned down by Butch in Butch's apartment.
That's true.
He's reading the same book every time, and
that poor guy. You just can't catch a break with bathrooms. Can you imagine if every time you came out of a bathroom like something horrible was happening?
That's the most vulnerable position.
It is.
I guess it's better to have it happen when you come out than when you're sitting on the toilet.
That's true. It could be worse.
Literally caught with your pants down. That's where the expression, I guess, comes from.
Maybe that's the idea. I almost see it as like so much of this movie is about what happens in the more vulnerable states. So to have so much of the movie take place in a bathroom. If I was to read into it, it would be like, yeah, why are we spending so much time in this bathroom? Everything's happening in the main room, but you guys are having a conversation in the bathroom talking about ruining bath towels when like the important stuff is happening out there. It's like the epitome of this movie is that scene where he's like, they're washing their hands. He's like, what are you doing to the bath? You can't do that. And they're just like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting.
Mundane shit in the midst of a whirlwind.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah. What else? Anything else we got to add about Pulp Fiction? Anything that we haven't touched on that we want to touch on?
I might have to take another lap. You know that feeling when you've been outside in the sun for about 4 hours and then you walk back indoors and everything is
It's
just
like,
kind
yeah.
of a little bit dimmer because of the comparison? That's how my brain feels right now after watching that whole movie. There was so much to absorb, and I think I'd just like to put on the record that it's an absolute miracle that I've managed to be even remotely articulate when my mind is still trying to catch up with me.
Well, that's perfect. And I'm so
Yeah.
glad we got to witness this amazing
The christening.
Yes, the christening. It's perfect. So, okay. So, final ratings on a scale from 1 to 5 Royales with cheese, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. How many Royales with cheese would you give Pulp Fiction just on this first viewing?
I'd give it a Big Mac.
A Big Mac. Wow. Was that good?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ryan.
I'd give it a plate of French fries with mayonnaise.
would you give it
very
a? I think I'll give it a $5 shake. This
Yeah.
movie earned its $5 shake for sure.
I definitely want to have a vanilla milkshake with some bourbon in it.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
No.
Let's just go get some milkshakes. Yeah,
Let's go
right
eat
now.
all. Let's have a Pulp Fiction feast.
Yeah.
Let's eat all
Yes.
the food that's featured in throughout the course of the
And
movie.
then we'll have a dance, and then we'll all go
Yeah.
dancing.
Then
It'll be
we'll
great.
do the twist.
We'll do the twist. It'll be great.
There is a
Alright.
great Pulp Fiction drinking game where you're supposed to take a drink every time someone smokes a every time someone lights a cigarette.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
But you're not supposed to make it through that game.
Yeah, that's good.
You will
That's
die.
yeah. That reminds
You
me
will
of
end up
the-
like Mia. It will not be good. For
Yeah.
you.
Reminds
So-
me of the Shrek drinking game.
Ugh.
You're not supposed to make it through that either.
What
What
is the Shrek one?
game?
You have to look it up actually, because there are a bunch of different sets of rules, and some of the triggers are 1 drink, some of them are 2, and some of them are 3. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt that you will not make it through. I did the Shrek drinking game at the top of my heyday, and I blacked out.
Oh.
Shrek. Five stars.
5
Yeah,
stars,
5
for,
stars.
for sure. Shrek gets 5 Royales with cheese. Perfect. That's Pulp Fiction. That's it. We did it.
We
made it.
did.
So I'm so proud of us. Thank you both so much.
Of
I hope we get
course.
to hang out more because this has been fantastic.
Yes,
It
thank
has
you for
been
having us.
so
Yeah,
much fun.
absolutely.
Thank you for the
So-
pizza.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're very welcome.
Papa John's.
Papa John's.
I feel
proud sponsor.
treasured.
Not at all. God, that would be great. But so what I like to ask people is if you're out there on the interwebs and people want to chat with you about Pulp Fiction and your feelings on it, where can they find you on the Twitter, on the Instagram? Where should they go yell at you?
I am on the Twitter. I actually my handle just makes me think of vodka. My
At Grey Goose.
it's actually Julia Bird, so I was almost there. Yeah. My social media handle is the same across all platforms. I really lucked out on that one. It's Julia Bird with Bird spelled BYRDE.
Fancy.
Yes, very fancy.
What about you, Ryan?
You can find me on Instagram primarily at Kicking Pizza.
And is it at all ironic that we ate pizza today and you didn't kick any of it?
Well,
I didn't. I had to keep myself very reserved. I had to. I almost lost it. I almost blew a gasket.
It's
I had
okay.
to kick the Papa John's box.
the
But
night is still young, and I'm sure we have leftovers.
Plenty of
there's
You're
time.
good.
time to kick.
Yes, kick it. We can kick
I'm
it
trying to
this
kick the
weekend.
habit, actually.
And I am at YayShawnDorman on the Twitter. And you can check out The Nerd Party, which is the network that Missing Frames is a part of, at thenerdparty.com. If you like the show, you can give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, and everyone will get to see it. And that would be wonderful. And you can also check out all the other great shows on The Nerd Party. You can follow The Nerd Party at Join Nerd Party and like the Facebook page, The Nerd Party. And there's an Instagram at The Nerd Party. So do all that stuff. And this is a delight. Thank you.
Do you have a cool phrase that we get to say at the end?
Like a catchphrase?
Yeah, I'm still working on that. Oh, man, no. Let's come up with one right now.
Okay.
You can just say very, very deadpan into the microphone, I'm glad I finally saw this movie. Like you're holding a gun to my head.
Yeah, you say that.
Okay.
Do it.
I'm very glad I saw this movie. Shawn, please let me go home to my cat. I love him so
Have a great night, everybody.